Hi, this is Lucy, your clarity coach, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to episode 4 of the Setting Realistic Goals series of 2024. Goal setting has been and continues to be a buzz term, and it's not new to any one of us here, especially those of you who are attending this session, because this is why you're here. It's all about goal setting, and I have promised you that in this goal setting series I'm going to share with you 4 specific areas, and we have successfully done that for the first 3. The first one was articulating for impact, therefore understanding what your why is and defending it, knowing when it is to call it or when to continue with it or how to grow it from whatever space that you are in. So articulating for impact is important. It's so that you can hear yourself say your why over and over as you honor it. The second one was aligning life objectives. You being able to align what it is that you find important in your life and giving it that balance, because balance is very important in how we're going to be showing up. So you need to have strategies. And there we shared strategies to help you align with the broader life objectives. A reminder that you are a total sum of the things that are important in your life, and the way that you show up is key, absolutely key. The third session was all about, or the third episode was all about cultivating effective goal tracking. Now, if it is not measured, it's not going to get done. For you to be able to understand what it takes, whether it is resources, support, whether it is time, whether it is knowledge or skills, whatever it is that you are working with, it is important that you have a measuring tool. So in this particular session, we looked at progress evaluation techniques, and we shared 3 really good techniques that are so simple and easy for you to plug and play. And I do hope that out of those 3 sessions that we have covered so far, you have had amazing takeaways and you're already practicing them. In fact, putting them to work in your New Year's resolution. You want to be part of the 8% that actually put things down and get things done. And the minute that you do that and you put it down, you make the 8%, you then move on to be part of the 40% of people who are most likely to succeed, because you are evaluating, you are monitoring, and you are looking at your progress evaluation. So let's get this ball rolling with today's session, which is all about adapting to priorities. One thing that is constant is change. That is constant in our lives and everything that we do. And in this particular episode, it's about learning to adapt and adjust our goals. So you have a goal. You already know what it is. You know what your why is. You've already aligned yourself to the objectives. Therefore, you know which things you're balancing. You are choosing your different hard. You are choosing your different battle. You know which way you're giving a risk to this one at the cost of another. All so that you can balance and maintain on that journey of your purpose. You have now cultivated and you have your goal tracking. So you're all set to go, but boom, life happens. Murphy's Law, as I like to say, comes and takes already rent in your house, free of charge, comes and sits in your house. Murphy's Law comes in and topples and becomes a disruptor. So how do we prepare for those inevitabilities in life? And here we're talking about changing, adapting to change, adapting to priorities. So the question for today is, how prepared are you for change from a fixed to a growth mindset? Because that's what it's going to take, I guess. Yeah. Well, we're going to see by the end of this session of Tuesday Talks at 3. Today, we are finishing the series of setting realistic goals, and we are closing it off with adapting to priorities, concentrating on change. And the question is, how prepared are you for change from a fixed to a growth mindset? So let's keep going now, and we start off with the first session. Great to see you here, Grace. It's about understanding changing dynamics. As we have said in the intro, change is inevitable, but are you prepared for it? Change comes especially at that time when you're so aligned, you have all your ducks in a row, and you are ready to shoot your first shot, and then change happens. Change that you have no control over. Change happens. So it's a choice whether you want change to happen to you or change to happen for you. So today we're looking at the option of change happening for you, for your benefit, for your growth. Therefore, the understanding of changing dynamics is key. But you know, it's fascinating how our priorities shift as we go through life. For the longest time, I believed that this is what I was going to do and that it was going to stand the test of time. And I learned the hard way that there are seasons, the ebbing and the flowing of seasons, and we evolve as human beings. And though some things remain true, a lot of things evolve, and you grow with this evolving nature of life. So did you know that most people will change careers multiple times? If you had said this to me so many years ago, I would have said, yeah, right, hospitality, the way that I'm doing hospitality at the front desk is what I will do for the rest of my life because this is what I have studied. Well, here we are. Today, I'm a life coach. I'm a transformational life coach. A far cry from that front office receptionist and guest relations officer where I started my career over 30 years ago. So careers shift in our lives if we allow them to when it comes to a matter of growth. So it's a choice. And what do you want to do? Again, we go back to the first episode where we talked about understanding your why and being clear about what it is that you want, articulating it for your own understanding and for understanding of others. When opportunities are presented, then you're able to receive them because you know what you're looking for. You are able to clear, the good from the bad, that you can say in this season of my life, this is the thing that I need to do. So whether it is in your Christianity, whether it is in your Islam, whether it is in your Hinduism, whether it is just spirituality, it's up to you to make that decision, but you gotta know what your destination is. So as you go around evolving, you realize that you grow. And as you grow and you accept it, you find all these opportunities. And you get to reintroduce yourself to yourself a couple of times. Because the person that you were 5 years ago cannot be the same person that you are today. So you want a come to me moment where you're sitting and you're understanding the changing dynamics and how it has positively impacted your life. And where it has negatively impacted your life, you take the learnings and you keep it moving. So it's not just about job hopping. It's about evolving interests and goals. I recall when I first had the environment of writing out a CV, because at that time when we were growing up, there was no CV as such that was being asked for. We were coming straight out of college and being hired. But as we grew through the time and through the years, we realized the CVs were needed and we needed to put down something. And today there's even bios that are needed. We are evolving. Now, I digress because the point I was trying to make is in my first CV, I remember that my hobby was playing basketball. I remember that so well. I loved to play basketball. I wasn't a very good basketball player, but the thrill of being on that court, the adrenaline, the pumping, the jumping. I mean, I couldn't jump to save my life today, but at that age, that young age, that is what my interest was. It was basketball. That is what my hobby was. It was basketball. The one that has stood the test of time is traveling. So there we evolve. We evolve with our minds, with our bodies. We evolve with our soul, where it is that we find ourselves. So where is it that you have evolved from to? So that you can understand the changing dynamics. It is so important for you to know this is where I came from, this is where I am in the present, and this is where I'm moving forward. So just think about it. What specific area have you evolved in? And like I said, I've evolved on my CV, on my hobbies. My hobbies are no longer basketball. I do not have that headspace, that physical space to be able to be on the court with basketball, that speed that is needed there. I don't have it anymore. I have evolved and I have found other hobbies. But the one hobby that has stayed true is traveling. So my traveling has shifted from the way it was 35 years ago to the way it is today. I held that true in my life and I have evolved. These are the changing dynamics. Now, as your goals are evolving, you need to ask yourself, are they still reflecting who you are today? The same goal that you had set maybe 5 years ago, are you still the same person? And it could be that at the end of the day, you have moved forward to a point that you are realizing that growth means something totally different for you. And this is very interesting because Tony Robbins, and I absolutely love the teachings of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human fundamentals, the key fundamentals in life. And he talks about the first 4 being a natural de facto. It happens to all of us. So it's from variety to significance to love and connection. To the other 2, which are a matter of choice. And those 2 that he speaks of are growth and service. Growth and service are a matter of choice. These don't come naturally. So it's you choosing to grow, or it's you choosing to be there of service, to give back. And this automatically happens as you grow older, as you grow wiser, as you experience more in life. So the question is, are your goals still reflecting who you are today? You may find that you are moving from the top part of the 6 fundamental needs of a human being, where perhaps significance was important for you as you grew up. It was important that people knew who you were, people knew what your accomplishments were, that people mentioned you in places, and that's what drove you to a point where now it's about service, philanthropy. You want to be able to impact an upcoming generation, perhaps that's what it is for you. Well, whatever it is, it just means that you have evolved. Understanding the changing dynamics will help you to appreciate where you are and really milk it. And not only milk it, but find fulfillment in it, find joy. You find some people are so peaceful where they are. They most probably have understood the changing dynamics, and that all they have brought together, which was their gathering years to this moment, makes a lot of sense. Perhaps as they were going through the gathering years, they suffered pain, a rejection, not being understood. But today, it all makes sense as they come together in service. Maybe that is you. And if it is, drop us here, a note here, and let us be able to engage with you and see how it goes. Well, adapting doesn't mean that you're fickle. It doesn't mean that you're moving from one thing to the other. Again, I am reminded of interviews that I had almost, I would say about 16 years to 18 years ago, where I had started moving from one job to the other because I was evolving and I realized there was growth opportunity here, but I was ahead of my time. So the human resource managers at that time, I beg your pardon, did not receive individuals who are moving from one job to the other from an area of growth. They looked at it as there must be a problem. Why are you moving from one area to the other? So it was upon me to explain it was the growth that I was looking for. It was the career path that I was going to. And therefore, after 2 years or 2 years and a half, I believed that I had brought what I was bringing to the table and I had received what I was receiving from that table enough to move on and replicate in a place where I could even grow in a bigger span. So it just means that you're smart and you're proactive. So adapting, you want to continue, you want to continue doing. So statistically, those who adapt to changes are more likely to succeed. Think of it like updating your phone. It's all about staying relevant and efficient in your whole life. Is this what you're doing? Are you actively staying relevant and efficient in your life? And if you are, how are you doing it? So it's just amazing. You can look at that. It's all about your fixed mindset and your growth mindset. It's something that you have been doing for the longest time. So how do you shift? How do you shift from saying this is how I do things to this is how I want to start doing things to grow? And there you can begin to see your growth. Look up fixed mindset and look up growth mindset and see where the opportunity is. So that is understanding changing dynamics. The second one is about balancing your personal and professional life. How do you do this? It's a bit like walking a tightrope, isn't it? And when I talk about walking a tightrope, it means as you balance, you've got to look at all the aspects of your life. More often than not, our careers consume us. And therefore, the other aspects of our lives, they come at a cost. We are taking this risk on our careers, but the rest of the things are coming to a standstill. We are not growing in those areas. So it's all about finding that sweet spot. So ask yourself, am I still dedicated to my personal life as I am to my work? The answer to that question will help you to know where you need to get help from. Remember, we are adapting to priorities. What are the priorities in your changing seasons? Let's not lose sight of that. So if this season is your career, at the cost of other areas of your life. If this season it's your family, at the cost of other areas of your life. But as long as you know that is the case, you are understanding this game of balancing on that tightrope. So it's not just good for you, it's good for all the areas of your life. You're able to balance. Of course, there's a debate out there whether work-life balance really exists. Well, it's just a matter of perspective. What does it mean for you? How much time do you want to allocate in which season? Because we do evolve. It's crucial to set boundaries and make time for all these areas in your life. This is what I have done, and I am in a fulfilled space. Will this change in my next season? It most probably will. And that's why we are looking at this particular episode of adapting to priorities. What will my priority be in my next season? And that is where all my energy will go, because I'll be focusing on that. So you're just not defined by one area of your life, but the whole sum of who you are. Because if you want something bad enough, you will go for it. If you don't want it bad enough, you will make excuses. I hope I am speaking to somebody right now. And I'll say that again. If you want something bad enough, you will go for it. However, if you don't, you will make excuses. So that is in the balancing of your personal and your professional life. And now we move on to coping with setbacks, because we all have them. Perhaps you want to look at it as change. What is change? Perhaps change is a setback for you. You've tried this thing out not once, not twice, not 3 times, but multiple times, I beg your pardon. And you have never found success or that sweet spot that you're looking for. And you are at the verge of giving up. But did you know that you actually have a gold mine of personal growth with these setbacks? It's about rephrasing the narrative in your mind. So you've done it a couple of times. What you were doing was building resilience. So that when you're faced with this thing, that fear that is then engulfing your core, that you know it's coming again. So you cannot be afraid of something that's already happened. It's happened. We're usually afraid or anxious of that thing in the future that hasn't happened. And now when we have a track record of having tried something and it hasn't even worked out for you, the minute you're transcending to that moment, or you see that moment coming upon you, what happens? You withdraw. You become afraid. But on the other side, there's success. So there's also the fear of success. So think of resilience. Think of success when you're coping with setbacks. Change that narrative in your mind. When things don't go as planned, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? How can I use this experience to grow? This is what you need to be thinking about, growth. Remember, growth and service are optional in your life. The first 4 human needs, those happen automatically. They're things that you're going to want in life, and you're going to reach out for them. And don't forget, there's a ton of help out here. I'm here, I'm a life coach, and I can be able to help you with this journey so that you can have some clarity on how you can move from point A to point B. And we take it step at a time. Or you have mentors who've already gone ahead of you, and you want to be able to reach out to a mentor and ask the right questions so that you can be guided. Or a counselor, it could be a trauma that's holding you back. There's help out here. There's books that you can read. There's things that you can listen to, like podcasts as you drive or as you commute from one area to the other. Did you know that nearly 75% of people who seek help or advice when facing a setback are more likely to succeed in life? 75%. So why don't you join that multitude of the 75% and reach out for help so that you can be helped to cope with setbacks? Don't be on your own, because others have traveled this journey before you, and others are able to help to handhold you during a certain series of your life or season of your life. So when life throws you a curveball, all you need to be doing is throw it back even stronger. Now, those are the three that I would love to have shared with you even more today, but time is not on our side as we're coming to the end of our session today. We have covered understanding the changing dynamics. We have covered balancing your personal and your professional life, and we have covered coping with setbacks. The question was, how prepared are you for change from a fixed to a growth mindset? In that growth mindset, I'm sure by now you've already checked it out on Google. Growth mindset gives you that space, gives you that area, it gives you that expanse to be able to look at perspectives and have some insights on how to move forward with that particular thing that you've been doing for the last couple of years. It's time to adapt to change and adapt to your priorities. So adapting to priorities in life involves a continuous process of self-evaluation. What season was I in? Which season am I moving into? It's just like the way we moved out of the year before and we're moving into this year. And now we are goal setting. We need to have an essence of self-evaluation. We need to embrace changes because things are not the same as they were in the last season. And if they are, they only resemble. They're not exactly the same. Otherwise, you haven't grown. And remember, these are things that are changing from within you. The external is not something that you can really change. You could manage it, but not that you could change. You just manage your response to that external change. And it's about balancing. So understanding your priorities over time and that flexibility and adaptability are key to personal growth. And I hope that these episodes that we have gone through in this Setting Realistic Goals series has really been profound for you in executing it for your daily work that you show up to, whether it is for your personal or whether it is your professional life. So balancing your personal and professional life is crucial. It is so important. Moreover, learning to cope with setbacks by viewing them as opportunities and growth is something you need to be doing. Well, 3 takeaways as we wrap up today's session. So as you continue to embark with 2024, as you continue to embark setting goals that are so key for you, that are going to be impactful and have a positive outcome in your life, remember to embrace change as growth. Remember those dynamics of change. They are there for you to grow. Look at them from a positive aspect of life. Number 2, harmonize your goals. Harmonize them. Whatever it is that you are doing in your personal life, harmonize it into your professional life. Harmonize it into your social life, and just see the joy that comes out of it, the fulfillment as you authentically show up. And number 3, transform your challenges into strengths. And that's what I had for you today. This episode will be available on our YouTube channel by this evening, LMC Consultancy. Hop on there, and remember, when you're there, kindly subscribe. We're trying to grow those subscription numbers so that we can have more impact and more reach, and this can only happen with your help. And procrastination can hinder your lifestyle, so don't wait, do it today. And talking about procrastination, I have just launched a procrastination intervention. And this arrests the sabotage from killing your dreams. And I have launched another training for February, and I really want you to look out for it. I have the information with me. Kindly drop me a direct message and I will share with you the link, or just follow me on my social media. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram as Lucy, your Clarity Coach. You can find me on TikTok as Lucy, your Clarity Coach, and on LinkedIn as Lucy, your Clarity Coach. Also, we also have our YouTube page. Not only the page itself, but in the shorts. And in the shorts, we've got some little snippets for you, all under 1 minute, that you can consume. My social media channels continue to educate you and inspire you and motivate you to grow. So it's just managing your time is key. So in procrastinating, you are robbing yourself of this opportunity. So I'm going to say it one more time. Procrastination is a killer of dreams. I have my personal planning program 2024, the February cohort, which is my second cohort, and the dates are 6th, 7th, and 8th of February. It's already out there on my social media platforms. Kindly have a look. Drop me a comment that I am in, and I can send you the link. Do not let procrastination hold you back from realizing your 2024 goals. Let us help build one another, and until then, be kind to yourselves.